Trust is the most expensive currency in business, and I paid the price with $100,000. This is the story of how my best friend betrayed me, stole everything we built together, and left me broke and wiser. We were best friends for almost 10 years before we started the business. Jake and I met in college, two broke kids with big dreams, staying up late in dorm rooms talking about startups, freedom, and how we'd never end up in cubicles. He was bold, charming, full of energy. I was more analytical, the numbers guy. We balanced each other. After school, we stayed close, got jobs, paid bills, tried to be adults. But the dream was always there, start something together. And when the opportunity finally came, we jumped in without hesitation. The idea was simple, a digital product business. Jake had been freelancing as a web designer and noticed how many small businesses needed branding kits, logos, color palettes, font pairings, all ready to use. I had some money saved from a consulting gig, and I knew how to structure and market digital products. He pitched it over beers one night. What if we create ready-to-use design packs, sell them online, and split everything 50/50ths? I said yes immediately. We built a small Shopify store. I handled the site, product descriptions, and Facebook ads. Jake designed the packs. We launched with 5 products and maybe $2,000 in ad spend. By the second week, we were making $300 a day. By the end of month 2, we'd cleared $25,000 in revenue. We were ecstatic. It felt like the beginning of everything we'd ever talked about. We worked out of my apartment, ate cheap takeout, laughed about how fast things were growing. 6 figures by summer, Jake said. Easy, and he wasn't wrong. By July, we'd done over $110,000 in revenue. Our profit margins were nearly 80%. But here's where I made the mistake that would cost me everything. I trusted Jake completely. We didn't set up an LLC. No legal contracts. No bank accounts in both names. The domain was in his name. So was the Stripe account. So were the design files. I told myself it didn't matter. We were friends. Brothers, almost. But the cracks were already forming. Jake started making decisions without telling me. Changed pricing. Launched a new product without testing it. I'd log in and see changes I hadn't approved. I confronted him once. Why didn't you tell me you launched that new bundle? He brushed it off. Dude, it was a no-brainer. I knew it would sell. I didn't push it. Didn't want to create tension. We were making money, after all. Then came a silence. One weekend, Jake stopped replying to texts. No emails. No calls. I figured he was burnt out or on a trip. He did that sometimes. Then Monday came. I checked the dashboard. The site was down. Our Instagram? Deleted. Our shared Dropbox folder? Gone. My heart sank. I drove to his apartment. Knocked. Nothing. I called from a different number. He picked up and hung up when he heard my voice. It hit me like a brick to the chest. He locked me out. Of everything. In the span of 72 hours, my best friend of a decade became a ghost. And my $100,000 business disappeared with him. The next few days felt like a bad dream. I tried everything. I emailed Jake from every account I had. I messaged his sister, his girlfriend, even his old roommate. I kept it calm. No threats, just confusion. What's going on? Why are you locking me out? Talk to me. No response. The Shopify dashboard was now under a new email address. My access had been revoked. Stripe payments were rerouted. The site was back online, but all mentions of me were erased from the About Us page to the Instagram bio. It was like I never existed. I met with a lawyer, my first time ever doing that. I laid everything out, how the business started, the money I put in, the profits we split, how everything was in his name. The lawyer looked at me for a long second and said, "So, no contracts? Nothing in writing?" I nodded. He sighed. "We might have a case if you have bank transfers, proof of communication, and can show a pattern of shared revenue." But if it's all verbal and informal, this could get expensive and ugly. He wasn't wrong. I pulled together everything I had: bank records showing my transfers for ad spend, screenshots of Slack messages, invoices with my name. It painted a story, but not a legal structure. And Jake, he wasn't responding to my lawyer's letters either. 1 week later, I got a text from him, the first in almost a month. It said, "Let it go. You weren't built for this game." That was it. No apology, no explanation, just pure arrogance. I broke down. I don't say that lightly. I'd been through hard times before, but this felt different. It wasn't just money. It wasn't even just business. It was betrayal from someone I trusted with everything. My savings were gone. I had no claim to the brand we built. The ads, the followers, the customer list, all is now. And the worst part? I couldn't even prove I was a co-founder. I spiraled. For weeks, I barely left my apartment. I drank too much, stopped responding to emails. I'd stare at old receipts and screenshots like they were crime scene photos. I replayed everything in my head: the handshake deals, the laughs over delivery pizza, the day we hit $10,000 in a week and high-fived like idiots. How do you go from that to let it go? Eventually, I did let something go: my pride. I took a part-time job doing marketing for a local event company. It wasn't glamorous, but I needed to pay rent. I stopped trying to sue Jake. The lawyer said it could drag on for months, maybe years. He might file bankruptcy or hide the funds. The system, as he put it, doesn't protect verbal business partners. That sentence stuck with me. Verbal business partners. That's what I was. A ghost partner in a six-figure idea. And that's when I made a decision. I'll never do business with friends again. And I'll never start a company without paperwork. It was a bitter pill, but a necessary one. I wasn't just rebuilding my finances. I was rebuilding my rules. Months passed. Seasons changed. And slowly so did I. The pain didn't vanish, but it dulled. I got used to waking up without checking the Shopify dashboard. I stopped stalking Jake's new business accounts, mostly because it hurt too much to see the numbers climb. He was still using our branding, still selling our products. Only now they were his. I channeled my anger into something productive: learning. I devoured books on business law, digital product models, and negotiation. I took online courses in e-commerce and digital marketing. I wrote out everything I had done wrong, just like after my last business failure. It was therapeutic, brutal, and necessary. The job I had at the event company wasn't much, but they let me experiment with ads. After a few campaigns, I got their lead cost down by 60%. The owner took notice. One day, he pulled me aside and said, "Why are you working for me? You should be running your own thing." I almost laughed. Then I didn't. That night, I opened a blank Google Doc and typed 4 words at the top. This time, it's legal. Underneath, I outlined the business I would build. Clean legal structure. No partners, just contractors. Bulletproof payment systems. Ownership of my name. Zero emotion in business decisions. I took all the lessons from Jake's betrayal and baked them into this new model. The idea? Digital resources for freelancers. Templates, contracts, client management kits, pitch decks. Stuff I wished I had when I was starting out. But this time, everything was different. I incorporated the LLC before launching anything. Opened a business bank account. Registered trademarks. And yes, I read every Stripe policy in detail. I launched with one product, a freelance starter pack, and $1,200 in ad spend. My first week, $1,463 in revenue. Not impressive, but profitable. And it was mine. Every penny. I didn't try to scale fast. I kept it lean, focused, and smart. Within 4 months, the store was earning $4,000 to $6,000 a month in profit. Not explosive, but stable. And I wasn't relying on anyone else. One day, I got a message on Instagram from a random account. No profile picture, just a line of text. "Your little store's cute. Still think you're built for this? It was Jake. I blocked him. He could keep the $100,000. He could keep the old business, the followers, the products. But I had something he never would again, myself. That moment marked the shift. From pain to purpose. From revenge to building. And from balance broke to balance restored. It's been over 2 years since Jake disappeared with the money. And while I wouldn't say I've forgiven him, I can say this. I am grateful. Because losing that $100,000 taught me lessons I would have never learned from a business book or a podcast or even a mentor. It taught me to never mix friendship with finance without contracts. It taught me that loyalty is not a business plan. It taught me that a strong handshake is worthless without a strong agreement. And most importantly, it taught me that I could lose everything and still rebuild from zero. Not just my bank account, but my sense of self, my confidence, my direction. Today, my business earns more than our old brand ever did. I don't have a co-founder. I don't have drama. I have a team I pay well, a clear system, full control. No one can shut me out ever again. And Jake, last I heard, he moved to another state. His store is still online, but I also hear the product quality dropped. No new reviews in months. He may have stolen the business, but he couldn't steal the vision. I share this story not to scare you out of trusting people, but to remind you that trust is not a strategy. Trust is earned, protected, and documented. Whether you're building with a friend, a family member, or a stranger, protect yourself. Not because you expect betrayal, but because if it happens, you want the law on your side, not just your broken heart. If you're listening to this and you've been burned in business and life by someone close, I want to tell you something. You're not stupid. You're not alone. And you're not done. You learn. You rebuild. You rise smarter. And next time, you write the contract first. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever been betrayed in business or lost money because you trusted the wrong person, hit that subscribe button. Balance Broke is where we tell the truth about money, the wins, the losses, and everything in between. See you in the next one.